everyone. Welcome to Empowering Exceptional Minds, the podcast diving into neurodiversity through real conversations with parents, individuals, and professionals on challenges, strengths, and unique experiences. I'm your host, Maayan Glazer-Koren, an educational therapist, ADHD educator, and ASD specialist. At Educational Therapy LLC, my private practice, we support kids and adults with executive function and learning differences toward confidence and independence. This podcast is a collaboration with Wiz Therapy, connecting individuals to providers and streamlining services for neurodiverse communities. Our goal is to share strategies, stories, and insights to empower families, educators, and professionals. Before we begin, a quick disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed by our guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of this podcast or Wiz Therapy. The conversations here are for information and empowerment, not a substitute for professional or medical advice. And most importantly, if you are experiencing a mental health emergency, please dial 911 immediately, or you can text 741-741 to reach the crisis text line in the US for support. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Empowering Exceptional Minds. Today, I am really, really lucky. I think all of us lucky today that Carrie Bonnett is joining us. She is an executive function coach who works closely with students, families, and educators to build skills kids need to thrive, both in and out of school, of course. Carrie brings a compassionate, practical approach to supporting executive function skills like organization, task initiation, time management, emotional regulation, and follow through. In her work, she helps shift the conversation away from what's wrong with my child to what supports does this child need to succeed. Thank you for the laugh, Carrie.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh in the middle of your introduction.
I love that. I love laughing. Humor is the best way to deal with things. In this conversation, we'll explore what parents and teachers should know about executive function challenges, though I am not loving the word should, but what we will benefit from knowing from executive function challenges and how to support kids with homework and daily routines like chores without constant power struggles, and how to build independence while still offering the right level of support. If you've ever found yourself stuck in nightly homework battles, first we feel your pain.
Yes.
But also feeling unsure how to help your child stay organized or wondering how to better support students who seem capable but overwhelmed, this episode is definitely for you. Carrie, welcome. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining.
Hi. Hello. I got distracted by what I was going to say. I was just going to say, you're welcome. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
For our listener, just to let you know, both Carrie and I had chocolate without knowing that we had chocolate. And just before going on the podcast. So I think that we have some sugar in our system.
Maybe so. Sorry, everyone. And not sorry also.
Exactly. I mean, I'm happy for chocolate makes me very happy.
Yes, indeed. Little something sweet right before. Okay, here we go.
Yeah. So Carrie, thank you so much. Can you tell our listeners what you do and how you do it, and what was the path for you to do what you do?
Yes, absolutely. I am an executive function coach, as Maayan mentioned, which just means that I work with primarily students and families, although I do have adult clients too, who need some coaching in this thing, executive function. And that is a term that I wish we had some other thing to call it. I think you and I have talked about this before. But what executive function is those skills. You mentioned time management, maybe planning, maybe organization, task initiation, just getting started on something boring. So these are skills that we have to be taught. And that's one of the things I do. So my job is part education as a coach. Like, what are these skills? How does your brain work? Each individual student that I work with. And then part strategies, like, okay, well, now that we know these things about your brain, what are some tools? What are some strategies that help support your brain and help you manage, help you get your important things done? So that's my job title, executive function coach. I work, like I said, primarily with students in middle school, all the way up to college. I just got off the phone today with a senior in college who has been struggling with this stuff probably his whole schooling and is finally now reaching out for support. And I work with adults too. But my path is from the teacher angle. So I was a classroom teacher for 14 years. I taught middle and high school. I didn't know what this thing executive function was when I was a teacher. If there's any teachers out there, you know this too, right? I'm 51 years old, so that tells you how long ago my teacher training was. It was a long time ago. I didn't learn about this thing, executive function. But once I understood it, and the first time I heard it, to be honest, was probably 7 or 8 years ago from my friend who's a school psychologist. And then I couldn't unsee it, right? Like I thought of all the kids in my classroom over the years who struggled with these things we talk about, and I'm I'm sure I probably judged them, right? Like I wish I hadn't. I wish I could tell you like I always had a heart for the kids that struggled in my class, and it's not really true. I'm sure I was judging them for turning in work late or having trouble sitting still or whatever the things are. I'm sure we'll get into it. Um, but once I understood it, then I couldn't unsee it. And so I decided this was going to be the next phase of my career and learned more, got some more training. And I've been doing this work for 5.5 years now.
Yeah, we had kind of similarities. I mean,
Mhm.
I had my teaching credentials, simple subject, and we did not, we didn't learn anything about executive function. We did learn about statistics,
Mhm.
how to grade,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
We learned how to write lesson plans.
Mhm. A lot of that.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Uh-huh.
And which I'm grateful for. I mean, I'm happy that I have like some kind
For
of like
sure.
structure.
For sure.
And there was a lot of like, I remember we had a class about test anxiety.
Interesting. I had no class like that.
So that was that's because the person, like the professor who taught that, she, and I'm shouting out for her, yoo-hoo, yeah,
I
you
know
did
she
a
had a
good
special
job.
interest, I'm guessing, in that,
Yes,
right? Yeah.
and she was interested in psychology
Mm.
and so and CBT back then. So that's really interesting that she taught that class.
You know
Um,
what? I'm going to chime in here also. So another part of my work is I teach for University of Portland here in Oregon. I live in Oregon. And so I am an adjunct instructor for the School of Education at UP. And so I teach teachers. So I'm teaching some students who are getting their master's degree. And same as your teacher who found a real special interest in test anxiety, my students are getting executive function from me because I'm interested in it and I want them. I feel like every teacher needs to know this
they
thing
need
about
to know.
executive. Yes, yes.
Yes. Yes. And it really depends where you're at.
Mm,
But you're right. Those who are in education for maybe 20 years,
hmm
either maybe 20 years ago there or 30 years ago,
hmm
it was not taught. Honestly, I don't think it's still,
I think it's a little better, but not a lot better.
yeah,
Yeah.
even like I did not have class about special ed.
I
And
don't even know if I did. It was a long time ago, so
it
I'm
was a
not
long
sure.
time. All right. So, how do you define executive
Yeah.
function in everyday language for parents who are new to this concept?
Yeah, like I wish we had a different term for it. We don't have another term. This is what we have. It comes from the word execute. So but the definition that I like to use is that executive function skills are the brain skills that help us get important things done. So that's sort of the simple definition that I like to give. Like all these different skills that it takes to get our important thing done. So you've already mentioned time management, planning, prioritizing, self-regulation, like impulse control, but also emotional control. We're talking about task initiation, getting started. These are the types of skills we're talking about. So when you explain it that way, I find that people go, oh, okay, I understand. But when you say executive function, it sounds so corporate or too sciency. But it's really a basic set of skills that are kind of more challenging than we think for many kids.
Yeah. So, if you're looking at it from a different angle, you will say, my kid is not producing,
Mm,
but the production will be the last thing we're going to see, the not
yeah.
producing.
Yeah.
The underlying is those parts that are in the brain that is still developing for these kids.
Right.
And with ADHD, which is another not a term, a good term for
I know.
what
I
it
don't love
is.
that term either. Wait, should we talk about that one too while we're at it, or do you already do that on your podcast a lot?
You go ahead. I mean, I just said challenges with regulation. This is
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
Right, right. And the executive function stuff too, right? Like the
Mm-hmm.
ADHD with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. I mean, let's talk about the deficit word, I suppose, if we
I don't like
must,
that
and the
word.
disorder word, which, I, I am finding that people in our world, in our circles of ADHD, executive function, are starting to have this conversation more and more about like, gosh, the name is really not what it is. And many students don't have, or people don't have the hyperactivity presentation. So the H is in there no matter what, which is confusing. There's a lot of confusing things about it.
Yeah, and I think now in the DSM-5, we're just gonna say ADHD inattentive type, which what they used to
Hmm.
call ADD.
ADD. Right, right.
Yeah.
Maybe
Again, all
someday they'll
right.
come up with a better name. That's not why we're here.
No, that's not over here. That's the chocolate. We were sidetracked. So we talked about what are they? So those are the skills that we need to get things done.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, it's from brushing your teeth, right? So
Yep.
hygiene,
Yes.
taking a shower. Taking a shower is so many steps.
So many laundry. Oh my gosh. Can't even talk about laundry. So
Laundry
many
is the
steps.
worst.
Yeah. Hmm. But I'm glad
So
you bring it up because it's not just
mhm.
school stuff. I mean,
No, that's why I'm bringing it
parents,
up.
yes. I mean, parents find their way to me, probably to you too, mostly for school stuff. I don't
Yeah,
know if you find that to be true. I do.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like they're having their backpack's a mess. They have lots of missing assignments. They in school they get so distracted they don't finish their work and then they have homework, which they maybe shouldn't have had homework. But once we get into it, it's way more than just school stuff.
yeah. And we need to also understand that ADHD it's never by itself.
Yeah,
And also the understanding that you can have executive functioning challenges even without ADHD.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
this is something to think about. So we all have executive functioning. We all
Hmm.
have those. And we all have strengths in them. And we also have challenges in them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I do with my clients. I don't know. Do you, when you meet with students, you don't have the parents in the room with you? Is that right?
At the beginning, sometimes I do.
Yeah. So one of the things that I do that's maybe unusual, unconventional maybe, is that most of our sessions, I have the parent with us also. I work exclusively on Zoom, which is neither here nor there, except that maybe it makes it a little bit different than what you have an office space. Um, but I'm always constantly forever asking the parent about their brain too, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
we are there to talk student, right? Like we're here because the student is struggling, the brain is struggling. But the parent is there to also say like, here are my challenges too. My brain, I tell them mine straight up for task
Yeah.
initiation, that getting started business. I always raise my hand, like on something that I do not want to do, or it's boring or I don't understand it, my brain really struggles getting started. So it's important to just note that every brain, like you said, every brain has challenges.
Yeah. I always tell them about that we're gonna keep each other accountable because I always misplace my phone.
Uh-huh.
It can be in like really weird places, like near
Yeah.
the laundry machine or in my closet. I'm like, why
Oh,
would I put it
yeah.
there? So I'm like, okay, well, it
Why
happens.
is maybe not the right question to be asking. I
True.
don't know.
I don't know. It's just I'm just distracted, so that's why it's
Yep.
there.
Exactly, right? Which and you just like floated past that, but that's good data, right? Like one of the things that I talk with students all the time is like, let's collect data. Like what happens? Literally
Yeah,
what happens? And you just said, well, I get distracted and I set my phone down and then I don't remember where I set it. That's good data.
yeah. It's just like we have to keep being curious
Yes.
and not just look on what we are doing or not doing,
Yes.
because that's really important information. So what okay, here's another question. How
Okay.
can parents, because you work with parents as well, I do that too. I mean, they are in the back and forth communication, but
Good.
how can parents tell the difference between typical middle school behavior and executive function challenges? Because this is a tricky age.
Yes. Yes. Middle school is tricky. I mean, Middle school. Middle school is not only tricky, but it's like the perfect storm of like all the things happening, right? Like there's the newness, sixth graders anyway, there's the newness of having lots of teachers. There's the newness of changing classes. There's the newness of different teachers having way different expectations. And then there's the social stuff, and then there's the puberty stuff, and there's like all this stuff going on. So yeah, so sort of life can be tricky when you're in middle school. I mean, your question is such a good one, right? Like what's the difference between just like typical middle school and then true executive function challenges? I mean, I would part of me wants to argue that most middle school challenges are executive function challenges. Maybe
Right.
not the puberty and the social stuff,
And the
but
drama.
yes, right. But
Well,
maybe I know I'm not
emotional,
sure if I
emotional
believe that or not.
regulation, emotional
But
dysregulation.
yes, right. Like I would sort of partially argue that many of the middle school challenges are executive function challenges, right? Like they're taking a class they're not interested in. So it's boring, so they have a hard time staying focused on the thing and wanting to do the homework, right? Like that's an executive function thing. But I guess I would say sort of on the I don't know if the flip side of that you know your kid best. And if you have
Hmm.
a student who really wants to do well, wants to succeed, wants to do well in school, keep on top of all their things, and is really struggling to do that, I think that is maybe an indicator like something's up. Let's get, you already used the word curious. Like they want to do well, but they're just really struggling. I think some of that is it's important to kind of keep that's a thing to your radar will go off on your radar. So like they really want to do well, but they can't. They want to do their homework, but they're stuck. They the focus, you mentioned focus, like they really want to stay focused on this thing. They want to get this thing done. Again, it's school stuff that I'm mostly talking about, but they're struggling with that. That to me would be a something to think about if you're a parent for sure and a teacher.
Yeah. And the nagging.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Before we go to the nagging, I just want to bring one of my favorite quotes from Dr. Ross Green. And you said that like in so many words right now, that
Yes.
kids do well if they can.
Yes.
So it's not that they don't want to. We really believe, and I've been saying this so many times. I even said that on our parenting workshop that we do, that I mean, I didn't really meet a kid um who didn't want to do well
Hmm.
because they didn't give a beep about it, right?
Yeah.
You see how I censorize myself? I kind of did this.
Excellent. Even with the chocolate.
I know. I was like, I'm so good at like sound effects. So I really believe that they really want to do well
Me too.
all the time. And what we see, we just see as parents also, we need to think about, hmm, where are we in this equation? Because
Yes.
this kid lives in the house with us. This is not, we see things that it's like we said, it's not just the academic
Cool.
piece of not,
Hmm.
those homework battles, which we will talk about it. I promise we will get there. But we also talk about the nagging and the
Yeah.
reminding and all the time reminding. If it's like clearing the dishes, if it's like doing the dishes, if it's like take the dog out for a walk, clean after the dog, you
Hmm.
know, I'm just saying what's happening in my house.
Yeah, I know. Those sound
And
familiar to me. Yep. Uh-huh.
laundry,
Yep.
all those things that what we call functional living skills.
Hmm.
So parents, don't call it chores. These are functional living skills
Yeah.
that your kids need to know what to do when they get out of the house. They need to be able to cook for themselves, go to the, take them with you to the grocery store,
Hmm.
cook with them. Cooking is a great executive functioning.
So good. Baking, like oh, it's
Yeah.
so good. Baking, cooking, yes, so good. There's so many skills, right? Like the gathering the materials and paying close attention to is it a teaspoon or a tablespoon? Making sure it doesn't burn, right? Like timing, all that stuff. That's a great idea. Okay, at my house, I'll be honest with you. We use the word chores at our house, but now I'm starting to think about maybe using functional living skills. I think it's too late, maybe. I have a 13 and a 15-year-old. Maybe too late.
No, it's fine. I'm there with you. I have
Yeah.
almost 15 and almost 12. So we're good.
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
in the trenches with you.
Yeah.
Um, let's talk about nagging.
Let's. I'm a
want
mom,
to,
so
but we have to.
right, right. So what's there's sort of it's tricky, right? Because we want them to do well. And we also want them to, at my house anyway, like help around the house and learn the things so that they can live in the world. And I think the difference, let me back up. So the we talked about this a little bit already, that the getting curious about your kiddo. So like if the oh, let me think. Laundry is piling up. Let's use laundry because it's most annoying. Laundry is just piling up. You notice that they are wearing dirty clothes. They're not doing their own laundry. At my house, my kids have to do their own laundry. I recommend it, but it's also something you have to sort of help. Well, you
Yeah,
have to
we
teach
started
them how
that
to,
recently. Yeah.
yeah, teach them how to do it, but also teach them how to check if they have enough underwear and stuff,
Hmm.
So, but you notice that the laundry's building up, you notice that it's piling up or whatever it is. I mean, part of it is instead of the instant reaction being, why don't you have any clean clothes? To be getting curious, right? Like replacing the judgment piece with curiosity. Because the kids, we have to teach them how to do all the things, including these executive function skills. We have to teach them to notice. We have to teach them to plan all the different steps it takes to do laundry. You have to sort the colors if you do that. You have to bring it to get it in the washing machine. You have to switch it to the dryer. You have to fold it and then put it away. I mean, that's just six. A lot.
What about putting the soap in it?
Oh yeah,
The
soap for sure. Yeah, the taking the lint out of the dryer.
oh
There's
yeah.
so many things. Um, but the first part I think about the nagging or for it to feel naggy is to replace judgment with curiosity. Like, okay, what step here is missing? And maybe it's the noticing. This is one of my favorite things to say, but maybe the pile is invisible. Like it is behind closed doors, for example, or in a basket that you can't see. Well, one of the big things, if you learn nothing else from me, I always constantly am saying, make the invisible visible.
Visible. Hmm.
You cannot, so maybe that just means pulling the laundry basket out of the closet so they see how much laundry is stacking up. Or, and so there's the noticing, like, what skill is it that's missing? And then I like to talk about it like trying to be a coach. I call it the coach approach. So
Hmm.
rather than judgment, why can't you? Think about it as if you are a coach. Literally, sometimes the sports coach is a great way to visualize this is we we can't go on the field when you're a coach, right? The coaches aren't allowed on the field. And so our job is to sort of behind the scenes coach them through it a little bit without judgment and then send them to try it on their own. And then when they come back, if they've had a bad game, then you say like, what did you notice? Like sort of this coach approach. Now, I know it's not easy because I am a mom of a 13 and a 15-year-old. Um, but I think I've gotten better over the years of not jumping to a conclusion, which means that they're trying to be messing things up rather than getting curious.
It's really interesting. You made me think about imperative and declarative language.
Yes.
And we do use a lot of like, I notice when.
I
I
love the I notice
wonder,
phrase.
yeah. This is something that if you're not familiar for the parents, I'm more than happy to put a link to the book that I cannot come. I think it's Deb Dana, but I'm not sure about imperative and declarative language and what are the challenges and what are the differences between the two. And I will
Is this
definitely put it.
is this Linda K. Murphy? Is that her? One of them. I'm
Uh,
trying to find my copy, which is right over here. Hold on. This is the one that I like called the Declarative Language Handbook. Is that the one
yeah,
you know?
this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's this one. Yeah, so
Yeah.
she's a speech and language pathologist. So we
Yes.
will definitely put it in the link. So I know you
Yes.
guys are just listening to us and not seeing it, but Carrie was just like, oh,
Yes. I think I have it right here on my desk. I do. Yeah,
she
the
does.
language we use matters so much. I mean, like I was talking about getting curious, you can say this with your kid. I notice that when your laundry is invisible, it piles up or whatever it is, right? It piles
Yeah.
up faster or you don't notice it. And that's great too. But also, what the difference between the imperative, you need to go get your laundry, and the declarative, like, hey, I see your laundry is really full. That's it. And then like helping the kid to make the connection, pausing long enough for them to make the connection, like, let me look at my laundry. Oh, it is really full. Yeah, I love that. I'm so glad you brought that up.
What about homework?
What about it?
Oh boy,
That
where
comes
do we
up a
start?
lot in my work. I'm sure you can imagine. First of all, if kids are not that interested in the thing, that makes it really challenging. So especially so. So when I work with students one-on-one, I'm like, okay, how easy is it for your brain to get started on a boring thing? Like, I don't care. I do care because I care about the kid, but I don't care how easy it is for your brain to start the exciting thing that you love and you can't wait to do. Like, we are here to talk about the stuff that's hard and tricky and boring when you're tired, when you're distracted. So that's unfortunately homework for the most part,
Yeah.
not always, but for the most part is a non-preferred task.
And
Kids
it's
don't
also when they're tired after
totally. That's a,
school.
at the end of a long day. And homework requires so many different skills, so many of those different executive function skills. They have to think about time. They have to think about when they're going to have time to do it, especially if they have lots of after school activities. When will I literally have time to do it? How do I get started if I don't really want to? How do I make sure I finish till the end and turn it in and hit the button submit on their iPad or Chromebook or laptop? It requires a lot at the end of a school day. So homework is no joke, really.
So I like to talk with them about how we can trick the brain to do it.
Yes, yes, yes. I like talking about that too. How do you teach it?
It really depends on the person. I would just kind of use like, okay, I like to use like getting ready to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're before a workout. If
Yes.
my client is an athlete, that's okay. That's my go-to. Is like when you need to warm up
Warm up. Mm-hmm.
and do this. So what do you need in your space? Let's start from that.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I'm gonna check in with their stress level
Yes.
and fatigue level because if they're stress or fatigue, we have to work on that prior
Absolutely.
starting a task because nothing is gonna get done if you are upset, if you're tired, if there was
Mm-hmm.
a drama with a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we talked about middle school, so believe me, I know the drama.
Oh, for
It's real.
sure. For sure.
So we want to make sure that they're being heard and that they feel safe and that they feel calm
Mhm. Yes.
to do the homework. So what do you need? Maybe you need to eat before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I would also talk with the parents on that too. I'm like, what gets you get ready to do things?
Mm-hmm.
So I do like a lot of the modality of Sarah Ward. She is a speech and
Yes.
language pathologist.
Yes, I know Sarah
Um,
Ward too. Yeah.
she's fantastic, and her work with Done to Get Ready is
Yes.
wonderful. And I also like to ask them, how long do you think it's gonna take?
Mm.
And we kind of like to do this game where, and this is where I'm saying the word game and
Mm-hmm.
play, because we want to make it playful and enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. And trick,
So
right? Trick the brain. That's
trick the
another like
brain.
phrase that is playful and enjoyable. Right. We want to try to trick our brain. I love that.
Yeah. So what are we gonna do? I don't know, maybe you want to bounce a ball before you
Mm-hmm.
start. Just getting that, this
Mm-hmm.
good feeling thing. Maybe you want to listen to your favorite song. I mean, I always like to tell them that I always compete with, okay, if ever Megan Trainer is gonna listen to this podcast,
Okay. Keep going.
Megan, I won many times when I was folding laundry listening to your songs.
Mm-hmm.
So
It
because
helps.
it helps. So we want to gamify.
Yes.
And that's true also for homework.
Absolutely.
What do you do?
Absolutely.
So here,
Well,
parents, you got like, get ready. Like these are tools.
yes. Well, yeah. I mean, I teach many of the same things. I call it something different. I call it like creating an on ramp, which is the getting
Love it.
yourself like ready to get going. Like, don't start it yet, but just get everything ready, including yourself. I'm so glad you mentioned the like checking in to make sure, like, where's the stress level? Where's the, how tired are they, right? Like to check in on that for sure. Um, and then something, couple things you maybe, I'm sure you do this too, but didn't mention is sometimes students like reducing decision making at the end of the day can be really powerful.
Yeah.
So now, that's not to say if they come home and they're very upset and you always have a routine at your house where like at 5 p.m. is when homework starts and they, have a start cue, which I love, by the way. And you mentioned Megan Trainor, but it could be a playlist, it could be a song, it could be a beverage, like getting a cup of tea, sitting down at the desk, some kind of a cue that means this is when we start. Um, but reducing the decision making where like there's a repeatable routine most days. My daughter's a basketball player, the 13-year-old, and we have a hoop in our driveway. So she often comes home when she doesn't have practice. She has practice a lot. But when she doesn't have practice, she comes home, drops her backpack, shoots a few hoops, and then comes in and does and gets started. So she has created kind of a routine for herself, but some kids need help creating that decide once, right? Routine. Like this is kind of what
Mhm.
we do, but definitely seek your child's input on what they would like to do, like a special song, like you said, or where do you want to sit that is conducive to work? Do we need to have sort of quiet hours in the house? Because if there's lots of
Yeah.
people in the house, right? If a child needs quiet, how do we get that when we have a busy family coming in and out and dogs? So just seeking their input on that, I think is really helpful. Um, it takes time though to kind of create that routine.
Yeah, we are working with our kids on, and I'm talking as I'm putting my mom hat on.
Yeah,
We are talking on advocacy. We want them
absolutely.
to advocate for what they need. And if my kid is having a rough day, I'm not gonna have him do his homework right away when he comes home from school.
Hmm.
We will talk about, okay, what do you need? Because we all have needs.
Absolutely.
And and you know what did we have a routine? We have to be flexible.
Mm,
And with our kiddos, um, I would also say with regulation is really, really big,
yeah.
especially if there is maybe an essay that they're stressed about,
Yep.
or there is a test coming that they're stressed about.
Hmm.
So this is something we kind of have to address prior to starting the task, because task initiation, which is really hard, it's not going to get started if we're not regulated.
Yes. Yep. Our thinking brain shuts off when we are having big feelings, right? Like exactly what you're saying. So there's no sense in pushing a child to just power through because that makes it, nearly impossible to complete the task. But you know what though? We as adults are not great at that. At
No,
modeling. I would say not great at modeling that, right? Like I should say me, Carrie, is not always great at modeling that. Like I often try to push through even when I'm dysregulated. So that's a good reminder for myself and for us as parents to to acknowledge, oh, I love this strategy too, is just to say that stuff out loud to your kids
yeah,
when you are feeling it. I am feeling stressed right now, or really mad. I'm going to step outside or take 5 breaths or whatever the things are, do some jumping jacks, whatever the things are. I'm not always great at that, but
I do that too, especially in the end of the day when
yeah,
you're so tired after
yeah.
work. And I don't know, you guys, we're back into offices. We need to drive, some of us. Someone cut you, I don't know, did something,
Hmm.
mind my friend, stupid on the road. You're gonna get mad.
Yeah.
Maybe your boss, or a
Hmm.
colleague made you mad. It's like it's so hard to do the check-in with ourselves.
Yeah.
um you just mentioned something, and I was thinking about this example while you were talking about, when you get this, like, you need to write this email but you're so tired, or you need to, I don't know, even, my thing is, at the end of the day, this is where my kids tell me they need new shoes, and
Right now, right now.
or before school.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the options before I go to bed or before school. And I'm like, you
Uh-huh.
guys, I need time to um de-stress.
Yeah. Yeah. Decompress at the end of the day.
Decompress.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go and take a shower or whatever, and even, sometimes even taking a shower can
Mm-hmm.
be energy taker or energy giver. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, what am I gonna do today? Do I have the energy, right?
Right.
And people, I do shower, just letting you know.
She often has the energy to shower, but yeah.
I do. But this is something I like to talk also with adults, because it really
Mhm.
depends on where we're at during the day. We all have different energies, and especially with kids, when they come home from school, they are drained.
Yeah.
Kids with ADHD that are medicated or not medicated, and
Hmm.
honestly, if they're not medicated, they're going to be even more drained
Hmm.
because they're holding
They held
the
it together or they tried to hold it
all day.
together all day. Hmm.
Same with anxiety. So I'm talking about kids that are
Yeah.
dyslexic that really struggle to decode what they read during the day. All of these things, they are exhausted.
Yeah.
And then we need to kind of think about, when are we going to do the homework?
Yes. One of the things, this is a simple strategy that I use with families, and I use it for myself too, actually, is that when question is like being able to visualize. I was saying make the invisible visible. You know what else is invisible? Time. And
Yeah,
figuring out your week, like what are all the things that we have to do during the week. So I have this form that I use that shows like 6 a.m. to midnight on every single day of the
I
week.
do that too.
And it's block out like when is the basketball practice? When is the doctor's appointment this week? When so that they can see like the open spaces. Because that's the open spaces are when you get done what you need to get done and when you have free time and have fun. And so it helps to visualize the day. If it's, oh my gosh, I have no time between now and bedtime because I'm at basketball practice and dinner and my friend and all the things, dentist. So being able to see when they will have time to work on XYZ is so critical, I think. You use it for yourself and your clients too?
I use it for my clients and
Yeah.
myself. This is also from Seeing My Time, which is a
Yep.
great program. And Sarah Ward use it as well in her work. One of the things, it's like goes back to time blocking
Yep.
technique and strategy. And I just had a college student this morning, and we worked on this, and he went, oh, he's like, I'm always on my calendar, and I'm using my calendar. I just forget to check it, which is something that they do have
Mhm.
some systems in place when they're
Yes.
some of them when they're in college. It's like tweaking it. But he's like, oh, so he just blocked with the color of your choice what I asked him to. Oh, can you so I can see that too. And he's like, wow, this is very visual.
Mhm.
Um, I call it, I love it. You're so sweet, but and I just have a different way to say it. I say just in your face.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I had a seventh grader. That's what my seventh grade is. One seventh grader, Zach, I worked with a long time ago. He called it in your face too. I
I
call
call
it
it
make the
in your
invisible
face.
visible. Keep it in your face.
I said, keep it in your face. If it's not in your face, it's out of
It
sight.
doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. I mean,
Out
that's
of sight,
another
out of
thing for
mind.
parents. Like that's my favorite thing to remind parents for themselves too, right? Like keep what you need to get done, keep it in your face, or
Mm-hmm.
we do what's in front of us, and if it's not in front of us, we won't do it. Sometimes, well, let me back up. Sometimes our brain will remember to do the thing, but that's not why we're here, right? Like the times that it works. We're here to talk about the times where it doesn't work, and there's
Right.
there's yeah, keeping it in your face is so critical. And there's so many things that are invisible. Time is one of them, but like chores, expectations, homework, goals,
Yeah.
all
I
that stuff,
remember
invisible.
after totally. I remember after pandemic and going back to school. My little one was what, third grade? We had to get him used to go to school.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? And what do you need to have? Um, I don't want to take away from what we've been through as human beings in
Hmm.
the last, few years with the pandemic. And that's totally, this is not for this episode. But what I wanted to say is that even I want to give a little bit of tools for parents of little kids is, um, you can take a picture of how it looks like when you are ready to school.
Yes, I love this.
And then we're going to play a matching game.
Mm-hmm.
Go match yourself to the picture.
Yep. Do you have your backpack? Do you have your jacket on? Do you have your lunchbox, your water bottle, your shoes on? I
Yeah.
love that.
And for middle schoolers, your Chromebook, your iPad.
Totally. Yep. I love that strategy too with like a bedroom. So like what does a clean bedroom look like? And you can because we say like go clean your room, but we don't always teach our kids how to clean your room. So you can match the bedroom too. Like take a photograph of the clean bedroom and then try to have them match the bed or match the clothing, the dresser or the closet. Yeah, I love that strategy because I'm sure you hear this too or see this too, but some kids who struggle with the stuff we're talking about can't picture, they have
No.
trouble picturing what done looks like, what ready looks like, what clean looks like.
Yeah. And this is where, again, we're going to put a YouTube link to Sarah Ward. It's
Yeah.
very kind of straightforward, but please check her website. Another thing that to think about is that, and this is really interesting because I had a conversation with my clients many years ago, who was in high school back then. And they told me that they, yeah, that they didn't really know the difference between cleaning and decluttering.
Mm-hmm.
And because decluttering is, we have to teach that
Absolutely.
to get rid of stuff
Mm-hmm.
in order, so because everything needs to have a home.
Right.
And to be organized, you have to declutter. And
Yeah.
to be clean, you need to be organized.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's
was
so
telling,
interesting. Uh-huh.
it's like, I think my work around working with college and adults is like, I can't get my stuff like in my house organized or clean. I'm like, do you declutter? Do you have a system? So we're talking about systems in place for that. And it's the same. We have to teach it to our kids.
Yes. I did a presentation at a local school PTO parent teacher meeting the other night, 2 weeks ago. And this mom said it so beautifully when you said we have to teach our kids. We have to teach them everything. And I was talking about how we expect kids to know how to clean their room or organize their binder or, get ready for the day but we don't always teach those steps. And she said, you know what? She's like, I have come to the realization as a mom that we have to teach our kids everything. She goes, we have to teach them to wash their feet. We even
Yes.
have to teach them to wash their feet, right? She was just like so, not in a frustrated, sort of exasperated way, but she was like, listen, I get it. We do have to teach them how to clean their room because we also have to teach them how to clean their feet. I thought it was so funny, but so spot on. We have to explicitly teach how to do these things.
Potty
Rather
training.
Totally, rather than just expecting. I mean, potty training for sure. Let's hope. But rather than just expecting our kids to know how to do stuff.
They don't know. And this is
No.
where we see like task avoidance.
Yes.
Because task avoidance, you will have, or what we call task paralysis,
Mm-hmm.
or like task initiation, is like have three things. Do I know how to do it?
Nope.
Is it overwhelming? Right?
Mm-hmm. Which one do I do first? Which
Yeah.
one is most important? Or just having a strategy to attack three things. Like, do I want to do the easy one first? Do I want to do the hard one first? Do I want to do the one that takes the long? I mean, we don't teach that. And so
No.
that's one of the things you and I do is to help teach that.
Yeah. And chunk.
Yes. Small, small bits. Like the
That
laundry. We're
like the
back we're
laundry.
back to laundry again.
I think this is our nemesis. This is the villain, is laundry.
Laundry.
Ugh.
There's so many steps. There's so many steps. And it's invisible, right? What because it's in the once it's in the machine, invisible.
And let's not talk about the sensory piece.
Oh, we can. Would you like to?
That will be also be task issues. I mean, I
Yes.
will not, if I, oh my gosh, you guys, I need to share something with our listeners. I was in charge of making the chicken for family barbecue. Now, here's the thing. I was vegetarian many years. I was even vegan to a point. I'm back to eating chicken just because, and here's my just because, and please don't kill me here on the steak. I have to eat more proteins because of my age and because I work out. And that's the only way with tofu and all the other stuff I was doing. It was not enough. So chicken, um, yeah, maybe I'm racist to chickens. That was the next on the line.
Is back on
Um,
the plate.
back on the plate. Now, here's the thing. I cannot stand the smell.
Mm.
I have sensory integration challenges. I'm neurodiverse myself. And it was so hard, you guys. I was like standing there looking at the chicken thigh. The chicken thigh was looking at me and like, how are we gonna do this? And it took me longer
Mhm.
because I could not stand the smell. So
Yeah.
thinking about kids who have challenges with taking a shower, it can be sensory.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
soap, the water temperature, you
Mm-hmm.
name it.
Mm-hmm.
What clothes I'm gonna choose. So now we need to
Absolutely.
make choices.
Mm-hmm.
We have to think about these things that our kids that are neurodiverse, they have additional um, things that are in their way
Mm-hmm.
to get things done.
Yep. It comes back to the curiosity thing, right? Like instead of judging, let's just get curious. I'm sorry nobody got curious about you and the chicken. Like
Thank you.
maybe Mayan doesn't need to do the chicken next time.
Thank you. Did you hear that? To my family,
Who do I need to talk to?
my husband and my sister.
Oh, okay, great. Send them my way.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. It's a
Ugh.
lot. There's a lot to consider, right? I mean, and I guess the maybe the theme of our conversation is this curiosity piece. Like, could it be this? Could it be sensory? Could it be task initiation? Could it be time? They don't have their brain doesn't have a great sense of time awareness. So they don't feel rushed or they do feel, there's so many things. The getting curious piece um, is the biggest shift as a parent and as a teacher that I think can happen.
Yeah. And to the teachers out there, if a kid is not doing something, I would be curious.
Yep.
Why is just sitting there?
Yep. I
Or
don't think
what
it's
is making,
willful. Mm-mm.
oh, no, no. If they're not submitting the work, what is going on?
Right.
Believe me, they are not being lazy.
No, they would do better if they could, for sure.
So, what are the takeaways, Carrie? What can we sum up this very interesting conversation that we had today from
We
chocolate and
had some
chicken?
tangents. We had some
We
tangents
did,
for sure.
especially with laundry and my
Yes, laundry.
chicken
We talked a lot
trauma.
about laundry and chocolate. Um,
Chicken
I
trauma.
yeah. I mean, I don't know about you, but I feel like maybe the takeaways are the getting curious piece, right? Like that shift of
Mhm.
of noticing when a student is struggling and rather than judging, let's get curious about what's going on behind the scenes. I think in your face is another thing, right? Keeping the invisible stuff visible for kids just because we talk to them, like, and I'm a parent and also a teacher, you were too. We talk a lot, but that doesn't mean that all kids can process that. So like having visible schedules, instructions, chore reminders about chores, maybe the routine, the homework routine that you work out with your kid, make it visible, put it on a whiteboard or a sticky note or a something, clipboard, so they can remind it, making it time blocking. So I think we talked a lot about the
And
making that all that.
many of
Yes.
choices to gamify
Yes,
how
yes,
to get
yes.
yourself ready. And
Yes.
I'm not saying I'll be very careful and I would not say, yeah, my kid chose to play Roblox before homework. That's a too
Not a
much of a
choice. Yeah.
preferred task. Let's not
Uh-huh.
do that.
Uh-huh.
Let's start with something. And I would say also, okay, this is an interesting um choice that you
Mhm.
decided to do. Um, but I'm wondering, not but, and I'm
Yeah.
wondering,
Hmm.
um, is it something that it will be easier for you to step back so you can start your homework?
Right. I love the wonder. I'm wondering. I notice. That came up a lot too, sort of the language that we use.
Yeah,
And getting your kids involved in the process of figuring it out rather than
always.
assuming that we know best.
Yeah, yeah. Give them the choice. Give
Hmm.
them the opportunity to be their director of their lives,
Yeah.
no matter how old they
Hmm.
are.
Hmm.
They can do that even at 4 years old and 3 years
For
old.
sure. Well, I think we sometimes don't give kids enough credit for what they're capable of.
Yep.
Yeah.
Carrie, thank you so much.
You're welcome. This was fun. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you can find Carrie information, her website, and resources on the podcast description. Looking forward to spend more time with you next time.
Yeah, stay connected. Take care. Thanks so much.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and YouTube. Please subscribe to our channel and help us grow. Thank you.